I'm just like, so what do you want? I don't have a taste for anything.
I don't have a taste for anything. I just know that I don't have a taste for that. And I didn't know that until you brought it up.
But this is that the part of that is the fact. Give me something. Like I gave you some options. Mm-hmm. You said no to those. Just don't say no. Say, okay, I don't want that, but maybe that, or maybe something else that's similar to that. For instance, like, okay, I'll say Chipotle. She'll be like, no, I don't want Chipotle.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, Taco Cabana. No, I don't want Taco Cabana. Chick-fil-A. And I'll just keep going down what I'm thinking, and she's like, no. So I'm just like, so I'm not getting anything back, so I don't know. Like, for me, I don't say I'm a garbage disposal, but I'll eat whatever. I don't have a taste all the time for stuff. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like, just tell me something that you want to eat.
This is the B-side of marriage. This is the B-side of marriage.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Bside of Marriage Podcast. My name is Rashonda, and this is
Jason.
This is my husband, Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
And we are just so happy to have you guys join us for another episode this week. We really appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, and sharing our episodes. It means a lot to have your support.
Yes.
Okay. So a little bit about what the B-side is about. This is a podcast where we talk about everything related to marriage, the good and the bad, the A and the B-side. Right. So we like to start off our podcast with a segment called it's not really called anything.
The A and B side.
It's where we discuss we talk about something that's happened in our week that is either A or a B side moment. So I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay, so
are you gonna choose an A or a B side?
Trying to think where. I'm gonna go with B side. Okay. So this past week has been a little rough for my wife. So I've been at work. So I would say every day I'm at work, I pretty much want to just leave and go home because the kids are pretty much on. I'm gonna say 2,000, maybe 20,000 because they was just all over the place.
2,000 times 30.
So it was just all over the place. So I wanted to come home so I can, give her relief so she can, just do whatever she wants to do. If she wants to take a drive somewhere, just go somewhere. Just let me take care of the kids. So not let me take care because I want to relieve her. So so she, I can deal with the kids basically. So. And like I said, all week pretty much, I've wanted to do that. And it's like when I was home, I guess one day I was home and it was actually Thursday. I was working from home. They wasn't as on that high. It was probably about 1,000, but they wasn't that high. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they act the fool like that when I leave. But just wanted to give her that relief that she needed before she call and say, y'all do what you want, I'm out, and just leave.
Yes.
So
yes. Yes. Okay. Is that up?
Yeah.
All right. I'm actually gonna share an A side, having to deal with our community. We recently kind of expanded our
village.
Village? Okay. We recently expanded our village, and that has actually helped with the with the craziness that Jason was talking about with them being on 1,000. Yeah. Is that now they have friends that are really close, like in proximity to where we live and in age.
Yeah.
So what us moms have been able to do is just get together and allow the kids to
burn it off.
Yes. Play with each other, annoy each other versus annoying us. And so it's given us a chance to be like, okay, let's resettle, and then being able to come back. So that was really good, especially with it being a long weekend. We were able to do that, and so that kind of kept me level set. Because it's weird because it's interesting that we found friends who also have have demanding work schedules.
Yes.
So for them to be able to
understand,
like they truly understand, what I'm going through, and then so that all the kids get together, they just do their own thing. So no, that's good. Anything else?
No, I think I got everything.
Okay. So let's just jump into today's topic, which is around decision fatigue. So this is something that I struggle with a lot. And I think it might be more so on a mom or the wife side of things, because women just tend to have are supposedly built to be caretakers, and because of that, we tend to make a lot of decisions. So I looked up what the definition is for decision fatigue, and it is the idea that after making many decisions, a person's ability to make additional decisions become worse. It's also called like ego depletion. And so the theory is just around decision fatigue is that a human's ability to make decisions can get worse after making many decisions because their brain just becomes fatigued. And I know that I have had this problem because especially now in like changing of roles a little bit, it's like I have to make all the decisions, and it's not like I'm making all of our big decisions any decision. Like I help make big and small, but having to always make decisions just wears. And wears on you like mentally. Wears on you mentally and physically, because it's like you're constantly you're constantly making those decisions throughout the day. So for example, even waking up is like I don't have to. Let me start again. I get to wake up early so that I can spend time with God to start my day. So I have my devotional time, prayer time, and all that stuff. But right after that, then it's like immediately going into the kids wanting breakfast. But what can I eat? What do I eat? What do I wear? What do I need help doing this? And it's like it's just constantly what we're gonna have for lunch. It's like decision after decision after decision. And so even after, and so it just wears on you. So it's like when it comes to having like important conversations, I don't want to have them because I'm tired. I'm like, okay, whatever. Because it's always, what are we going to eat? What are we going to do? How are we going to do that? Even with the B-side, like what are we going to post? How are we going to make sure our content is like easy to like, what am I trying to say?
Easy to like
making sure our content is relatable and easy to digest. Okay. So it's like you don't want to put a lot of heavy stuff out there, but then we want to make it like small, like relatable moments so that people can understand and or think about things a different way. So it's like my brain is like constantly going to the point where even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about either to-do list or ideas or something that I forgot to do that I needed to do. It's like my brain's constantly in overdrive, and so it's just like it's wearing. So how do you feel about that? Like, what do you think about? First of all, do you even think decision fatigue is a thing?
Mm-hmm. No, I do. I guess for me, it's more like this. I get decision fatigue at work more than anything else, because That's just how I get it more at work, because it's like I don't feel like I'm not the boss, and some things I don't think I have to make a decision on. But I get what you're saying, and that's why even with conversations with us, it's like I be asking her questions about, she'd be like, let's talk about that later. And I'd be like, at first I'd be like, and then I'd be like, I'll just leave it alone, because I know it's causing you to have think about something else that you probably wasn't thinking about.
Yes.
And have to make a decision on. So that's why it's like, I get it, and it's like, you know, one thing about me, I get a lot of ideas. I always get something in my head, and when I do it, I always want to put it down and tell her before I forget it. So a lot of times I'll be throwing stuff at her, and I get that she's like, because everything she's doing, you know, if it's about school, if it's about B-side, if it's with the kids, like she's pretty much on all the time about making a decision. So I get it. And yeah.
So let's talk about how decision fatigue affects our relationship. Okay. So, cause I know a lot of wives, you can relate, that even when your husbands try to take some of the weight off of you, they tend to, I'm trying to see how, they tend to
just
they still tend to have like come to you for like the specifics, to the point where you're just like, you know what, forget it, I'll do it myself. For example, like, have your husband ever gone to the grocery store and you like, oh babe, I need you to go pick up, I don't know, let's just say some milk.
No, say lasagna.
Okay, that's so random.
I'm just saying, because the last time.
Oh, well, okay, yes.
That's
okay. So that's a great example. Okay, so we had gotten into the pattern of, okay, what we're having for dinner. So to make it easy on me, so I wouldn't have to cook and do the whole grocery order and all that stuff, Jay volunteered to go to the store to pick up frozen lasagna.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when he gets to the store, he's like, well, what kind, what brand?
Now, and this is the reason why, because I didn't see the one that we normally buy. So that's why I was like, okay. Because they didn't have, I guess, the brand that we normally get. So I was trying to literally find the one. I couldn't find it. So I was like, okay, I don't know which one she wants. So that's why I was like, well, let me just send you a message.
Yes. So we start off with a couple of text messages, like what kind or what brand, and he knows I don't really care for ricotta cheese, so I was like, well, just anything that doesn't have that, like, as the base, right? And then he's like, okay, let me FaceTime you, because these are the two, and I'm like, babe, just pick something that doesn't have ricotta cheese in it, and we're going to eat it. It doesn't matter, because basically it's just for me and him anyway. Yeah. So I'm like, just make a decision. I don't care. Just get something. And then he's like, okay, well, it doesn't look like what we normally. I know it. I appreciate it, but I don't care. And then it's like, oh, well, what size? Do we need the family size, party size?
But see, that's the point. That's part of it, because I thought, yeah, we don't. It's just for us, because we used to get it should be for us and then our mom. Mm-hmm. So then it's just me and her. So I'm like, we don't need the family size. That's a lot. So that's why I asked the question, because to me that makes sense. But I know it's another decision.
But see how you just rationalize why you thought what size was better. You could have did that at the store and just brought something home.
But I didn't want
and we would have just ate it.
I didn't want her to be like,
but
but I didn't want you to be like, why'd you get the family size? Then I'd be like, see? Like, that's the reason why. Because we always get the family size, so I didn't want to get the smaller one. Then you'd be like, why'd you get the family size? And be like, okay, so that's...
But either way, we would have eaten it until it was gone.
No, we would have, yes.
So... if you would have got too big, we just would have eaten it for more days.
No, you're right.
Versus less days.
You're right.
And so that's the deal. It's like, why? I appreciate you wanting to make like every decision like a partner decision. But sometimes I just need you to do. Like, I trust you. That's just like, I trust you enough to be able to make.
Keywords, he said enough. Okay, keep going.
I trust you enough to make the decision about the lasagna.
Okay.
And there's certain things that I will be like, hey, you decide. Even on like content, like content posts, whatever. I'm like, hey, if that's what you run with it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, can you do this? And then what about? Are you sure? And I'm like, but I just want you to do it.
Yeah. With content, that's. Yeah, I need an editor when I write stuff because sometimes I stay on track, sometimes I veer. So that's why I need.
Well, and that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine being because that's how our relationship works. I tend to have to edit.
No, that's true.
I tend to edit what you have to say.
That is true. That's a good.
So I'm fine with. So I'm fine with that role. But then it's like sometimes you want me to create the content. Like you're like, here's the idea I have. And then I just sit there and I wait. And if you don't say anything else, I'm like, okay, well, I guess he's done. He's still processing it. But then you're like, oh, so you didn't like that idea? And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. You wanted me to like create it.
No, I got you.
So...
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's just, like I said, I know we're not the only ones. There's a lot going on. I mean, and it's just a dynamic, like I said, because wives tend to be the caretakers, so they have a lot of decisions to make. So it's like when you then have to do or make big decisions, you're just exhausted.
Yeah.
Hold on. I thought I was turning it off. Okay. So then when it comes to making big decisions, you don't have the energy to make it, or you just don't want to make the big decisions. Sometimes what I find myself doing is just like feeling that I put unnecessary pressures on myself because I feel like if I'm needed for every decision, then I'm in it by myself. And so I revert back to my independent woman days.
You don't need nobody.
Well, not that I don't need anybody, but it's like it's up to me. So then I prioritize what I think I need, like the decisions that I need to make, and I figure out how I'm going to tackle things, and I just do what's best for me. And so it's a lot of, as you can see, it's a lot of I in that situation, and so that's why and then I create separation between me and you because I'm like, I feel like I'm the only one that needs to do it. So you just go ahead and you do, you take care of what you want to take care of, and I got the rest. Yeah. Okay. And then that's just like extra stress and just stuff that
you're carrying by yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing that happens when you're suffering from decision fatigue is that you just impulse buy. Like, it's just like, okay, I don't want to make a decision. The first thing I see, yep, I need it. Yep, I got it. Yep, we're just going to I'm not going to think about it. Like, I'm not going to think, is this the most...
beneficial?
Yeah, it's like, is this the most beneficial? Is this the most reasonable thing to buy? No. Yeah. I don't want to make a decision, so the first thing I see, the first thing I get.
Yeah.
Or, I don't want to make any decisions. We're just going to go eat out. It's always for the kids, because with us, that's a whole different thing. Yeah. Because that creates more issues.
Yeah. We
around what we're going to eat.
We had a post about that. Yeah, that's still.
I mean, but it's like it's the cycle. So, for those who did not see the post, it's the infamous question of what do you want to eat for dinner, especially when you decide that you're going to eat out. And every time Jay says something, I tend to not want it.
So we'll go somewhere. We'll be driving or even being at home, and I can give her a list of like 10 things I could think of right away, or I'll say 5. I'll say 5 things, and she's like, "No, I don't want any of that."
No.
Okay, so I'm just like, "So what do you want?" I don't have a taste for anything.
I don't have a taste for anything. I just know that I don't have a taste for that. And I didn't know that until you brought it up.
But this is the part of that is the fact. Give me something. Like, I gave you some options.
Mm-hmm.
You said no to those. Just don't say no. Say, okay, I don't want that, but maybe that, or maybe something else that's similar to that. For instance, like, okay, I'll say Chipotle. She'll be like, no, I don't want Chipotle.
No, yeah.
And I'll be like, Taco Cabana. No, I don't want Taco Cabana. Chick-fil-A. And I'll just keep going down what I'm thinking, and she's like, no. So I'm just like, so I'm not getting anything back, so I don't know. Like, for me, I don't say I'm a garbage disposal, but I'll eat whatever. I don't really have a taste all the time for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like, just tell me something that you want to eat, because there's tons of food out here. I just don't know. Like I said, because for me, my go-to, I'm gonna tell you right now, my go-to is I'll go get me some boneless spare ribs. No, she don't always want that. Like, I can always eat that, because for me, that's something I used to eat in New York. So if she doesn't have an idea, I'm like, okay, I'll go get boneless spare ribs. But I know she don't want Chinese food. So I'm like, okay, when you figure, like, my back in the day, what I used to say, you figure it out. We'll go home. I'm gonna make a sandwich. I'll be good. That's literally how I used to take him. Like, to your face. Yeah, I used to be like, we're going home, because you're not telling me anything. Mind you, we're like driving home, passing all these different things, and she don't want none of it. So I'm just like, how am I supposed to help that? Because I'm not a mind reader.
Well, because usually what I want is nothing that is close to us.
Then say that. Then say that. Like, it's, and again, if that's what you want, okay, I'll go get it. Like, you probably will bring something and be like, you know what, that sounds good. I ain't had that in a while, and I will go and go get it, because I didn't think about that. I'm thinking about either local spots or something that we haven't had in a while. So, like, we haven't had any Mexican in a while. I'll throw out the different Mexican restaurants. So.
Okay, so as y'all can see, this is still something we're working through.
Yeah.
Even after 12 and a half years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, so this impulse buying. Oh, and then, well, my fave, because this is me. I'm a procrastinator. So one thing, I just won't make a decision. I'll be like, you know what? I'll do that later. I'll do it later. And just I'll avoid it for as long as I can, and then I'll have to make a decision. Because it usually circles back to, oh, what did you decide on that? Or did you do that thing? And I'm like, oh, no. And
then I'm good for her asking me to make a decision on something, and I forget about it. So then, because I forgot about it, she's not going to remind me, because, like what she just said, she'll procrastinate. So she's not going to remind me, and then I'll just be like, what was it that you asked me to do? And then it kind of brings back the circle. Okay,
that's a great example. Okay, so when you feel like you're making all the decisions and you give something away, like, not give something, but you be like, okay, babe, you're gonna take care of this. If I keep reminding you, I feel as though I could have just taken care of it myself.
Agreed.
And also, I don't want to come across as nagging.
Okay.
Because if I ask you, babe, can you take care of that, and you say yes, I don't then want to be like, okay, well, there's two ways I can do it. I can be like, great, I need you to handle this by X date or X time, to provide more guidance on and less anxiety on myself, or I can just keep reminding you, and then you're gonna be like, I just want you to leave me alone. I said I'll take care of it. So I'm trying to avoid, so this all goes in my head, right? So I'm like basically planning out this conversation in my head on top of all the decisions that I have to make and all the things I have to do. So that's why I'm just tired. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. So what I've learned, and I've also learned, because Jason does not like to be micromanaged. So that's why when I ask him to take care of something and he says yes, I leave it alone, because I don't want to be on his shoulder like, hey, what's going on with that? Whatever. But then he forgets, and then I'm like, well, I should have just taken care of it anyways.
Yeah. I'm not, what she's telling me is the truth. I'm I'm not going to deny any of that because
So yeah.
yeah.
And this is something too that we're really having to work through with us working together with the business, because before it was easier to segment because he had like work, like his 9 to 5, or I should say your corporate, because it's not 9 to 5. So his corporate job, I had my corporate, and then like we had the family, and then but within family we were able to kind of, there were neater boxes, like finances, relationship, kids. Like it was easier for us to be in boxes. Now that we have like B-side that's kind of taking kind of just me meshing everything together, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. So that's what decision fatigue kind of leads to. So I guess let's talk about how we can combat this and not feel like we have to succumb to decision fatigue or decision fatigue. Okay. So one that we kind of just talked about is like truly sharing the decision making process fully. And like I mentioned before, if you are having to make a lot of decisions, if you're having to make a lot of decisions, decide on what decisions need to be made jointly. And then the other things, like the more logistical things, then be like, okay, babe, I need you to take care of these and I'll take care of this. And that can all go, and that can be a part of your weekly, what do we call them? Our business. They're not really business meetings.
Not really business meeting.
But it's like your household meeting. So we have several now. So we have, let's briefly break down like our meetings that we're supposed to have. We're still working on the cadence, but this is what we're supposed to have every week. We have the Adams team meeting. So that is family. Like the kids are involved in that meeting. It's like, this is what we're going to do this week. And kind of because especially our oldest likes to know what's coming up this week. He likes to have more structure to his day. So we kind of discuss those things. We discuss any big plans or whatever, but it's more just kind of letting the kids know what's coming up this week. And then with my mom, like if we have any date nights planned,
let her know,
arranging child care or any of the kids' activities, so she can arrange her schedule around that. So it's kind of like that's the team meeting. And then we have our relationship check-in, which it needs to happen at least once a week. That's where we're just talking about our feelings and our relationship with each other. We discuss like highs and lows on of our relationship, where we feel like we need support, what things we're doing well, and it's just basically a connection check-in.
We try, and like we have a book that we still haven't played into it, just because my schedule messes it up, because a lot of times it would be best for us to do it at nighttime after the kids go to sleep so we can have a conversation. But because my work schedule, I don't get home till 1 o'clock in the AM. So it's just trying to find that time. And I don't want to have it at night. Because she wants to go to sleep. Well,
and we'll talk about that because another tip in a minute. So that's the second one. So we have team meeting, our relationship check-ins, and then our business meeting. And so a part of the business meeting is also like where we talk about, of course, the B-side stuff, when we talk about finances, and this will be where like all of the decisions that need to be made kind of will be divided out. Like, okay, so I need you to do this, and then I'll take this, and so forth. So it's kind of like a combo B-side plus the business of running our house is all in one. So, and we have that once a week. Okay. So those type of meetings. The meetings that we help to structure our household and everything, and how we handle everything. And so that's where you can have a conversation on, babe, I need you to take care of this, and I'll take care of that, and let go of it fully. If there's something that you need to have done by a certain date or a certain time, please share that at that moment, so you avoid the nagging or the frustration, or I shouldn't say frustration.
So, like, one of the things that I'm doing now that I'm trying to do better is, as we have these conversations, that I put stuff in my phone, but I have like a thing called tasks through Google. So I try to put stuff in there and then put due dates on it. And the thing is, it'll remind you on your phone, so it's not something like you just put it in your phone and then set it and forget it. I try to put some dates into those things, so either it reminds me that I need to do it, or it tells me today's due, so I can actually get it done. Again, still working on it. I'm not saying I'm all there, but I'm still trying to get that better. So
yeah, and that's a good tip, especially for those who are not planners, who are not as structured as others. So that's a good thing. Good tip to give. So another thing to do to combat decision fatigue would be to try to make the high priority or the more important decisions earlier in the day. So this goes back to the conversation where I don't really want to have our relationship check-ins at night, because I've been making decisions all day. And so this is a very important conversation to have, and I don't want to shortchange it because I'm tired. I don't want to limit the time and then come across as being uninterested in his perspective because I'm tired. So that's why I would prefer us to have morning relationship check-ins. It's just hard in the summer because when the kids are like, hey, it's breakfast time, the sun's out, let's get going.
They just be busting in the door.
And it never fails. Whenever we're trying to have a conversation, whenever we're trying to just have any alone time, here they come. Yeah. Or they're screaming, and then we have
their lungs.
Yeah. So we're still trying to figure that out. I think it'll run smoother once school's back in session. But that's a long. Yeah, you can't go all summer without having these conversations.
We just have to. We have to find the right time, or even, like I said, I have to buy Do Not Disturb and just put it on the door like it's like we have business as a storefront. Just be like, when you see that, don't bother us because we're having a conversation. But hey, we have to set the boundary. We have to try to set them. So if we're going to be moving towards having those conversations in the morning, then that's what we need to do, and not even let them know. It's like, listen, if that's up, do not even knock. Don't come in because mommy, daddy are having a conversation. So
that's fair. Okay, another way to combat decision fatigue would be also to remove or limit distractions. So this goes to like my procrastinators. The way I work is really interesting. So sometimes when I have a thought, like especially if I'm trying to write something, I need noise. Like it can be a podcast, it can be not necessarily a book, but it can be music, or it's usually a podcast that's not causing me to think. It's kind of like an entertaining podcast. I need that noise in order to flesh out that idea. And I also find that I'll find myself scrolling because it's a mindless thing, but it like gets me to, it's just really weird. So I have to minimize that though, because what will happen is that as I'm scrolling, I will find something that is good. Like I'm like, oh, this is a good piece of content. And then I'm like, oh, I need to save this. Oh, I need to, yeah. And so then it leads me down another bunny trail. But, so just limit those. I'm also trying to now just listen to focus music. So that is just kind of like, it's elevator type. It's not elevator, but it's music that tends to help you to focus on what you're doing.
So it's like instrumentals?
Some.
Because
it's a mix. It's some instrumental and some it's just like, it's music, but it's very light on words.
See, this is...
I can't really explain
So, kind of what she was saying about the limit distractions for me. One thing that I do, because I can't listen to podcasts at work while I'm doing something. I can't listen to music because if it's weird, my brain starts to I get off focus of what I'm doing because I'm either focusing, listening to the song, the words, or singing. So I can't.
So that's why you need to listen to focus music.
And that's why I never heard that. So because what I do is literally I put a TV show on. I'm not even looking at it. I just have it in the iPad is over to the side. I'm not paying attention to it, but I can have some whatever random TV show that I really don't pay attention to, and I do my work. But if it's a podcast, like for me, I'm a big note taker. So if I'm listening to a podcast, something gets me, I'm stopping what I'm doing. I'm pausing and writing all the thoughts that I'm getting to it. So it's hard for me to always listen to podcasts. I try to sometimes, but it's hard because I'm always taking notes, so I can't stay focused. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah, I didn't heard that.
So focus playlist. There's of course on Spotify, YouTube, and even Headspace because we use Headspace, the app. So they have that different playlists, and it really does help. It creates a vibe. It's hard to explain. It creates a vibe where you're like, I feel like I'm about to be productive.
I'm gonna have to try it because for me, I can listen to it's jazz music, but if at any person is Wayman Tinsdale because his songs are I can just listen to it and I'm not singing it. It's just hearing the bass, hearing it. But sometimes he does have a song that I know, and then I'll start singing. I'm like, no, I gotta switch it. But I have to try this music.
Try it. You should try it. It really does work. Also, about limiting distractions, set a timer around okay, these are the things that I need to really iron out. These are the important decisions I need to make that I really need to focus, even if you need to do research in order to make those decisions. But okay, I'm spending the next 30 minutes researching for this one decision that I gotta make. That way, I'm gonna set your timer, and then that way, when it goes off, it's you can feel like you've actually achieved something. And that's one thing that's off of your plate.
That's good because. I'm when I'm doing content, it's kind of hilarious because my mind be on one thing, I'm doing it, and then I'll be writing something wait a second, let me do some more research, and then something else from that, looking at the more research, it triggers something else. So I open up another note and I'm writing that. So that's why I was like, would you say that makes sense?
But that's what's you have this is within the next 30 minutes, I'm focusing on whatever. So one big decision that we've been having to make is around a standby generator for our home. So it would be okay, for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to do research on, or if it has to be an hour or whatever, but set that time. I'm only going to be focused on this one thing during this time. For me, when I was getting ready to plan the summer, I was okay, I'm giving myself 30 minutes to find free activities that would keep the kids busy. Okay. So I set the time to so yes, you need to be very specific when you're setting that time so that you don't do what you tend to do. You start thinking about this, or you research because Big Brother's always watching and listening. Then something pops up and you're I do need this. The kids will need some new no. So so be very specific in that timer, set it, and then just focus on that during that time. Also, I'm a huge component of this tip of automate as much as you can. Automate. Minimize the number of decisions that you have to make. I love it. So that includes your meal prep. That includes the kids' wardrobes, even your clothes. Minimize the amount of decisions that you got to make. So, which I might take it a little too far, but hear me out. Okay. So each kid has a wardrobe sorter, I guess you can call them. It's a thing that hangs in their closets that has a
bin, basically.
A bin, yeah. A bin for 5 days. So I only do it for during the week.
It's a bin, but then she bought some things that she puts tag that has the days of the week on it.
So I label them.
It's not a bin that has all that. She actually bought the bin and then added. I want to be clever because people are like, where's that? They're going to try to find it. I want to make sure they get that.
Okay. So it's a wardrobe sorter. All I did was make labels for the days. But what it has is each day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and every Sunday I would go in and pick the kids' clothes, and they'll already know. So every day they already know what they're going to wear. During the school, summertime, very relaxed. And then if they ever complain about something that I've picked out that they do not want to wear, because I do have a diva daughter, then they're responsible for picking out their own outfits every Sunday and putting them in, because you're not going to critique my outfit if you didn't put in the work. Okay. So we have that. Also in the summer, what we've done is every day there is for lunch, they know what they can have. And if they don't want to have so let's just say Monday is chicken nuggets and carrots day or veggie day. If they don't want that, then guess what? They have to figure out what they want and they have to cook it, because I'm not going to be making different meals when they already know what's on the board for lunch.
Just like this past weekend.
Yes, yeah. We had a little situation like that.
So we made homemade pizzas, made the dough, and the kids get to make their own pizzas.
Yes.
So put whatever the toppings on. So our youngest made his own cheese, put it in the oven, took it out. When he's ready to eat it, I don't want this. What do you want? I want cheese pizza. So you got cheese pizza in front of you. So he went to bed with no food. Couldn't watch the movie.
And to be fair, he's very picky. He's our pickiest eater. But yeah. So we have that situation. What else? I try to meal prep for us as well. So I set our meals for dinner and lunch. Yeah. So I meal plan. Sorry, I said that wrong. I meal plan for our dinners. I meal prep for our lunch for the week, and that way I don't have to think about it. I already know Jay has his lunch or dinner, depending on what his work schedule is like, and I already know what we're gonna make, and I've already grocery shopped for that week. Yeah. So this also is a great for staying within a budget as well. So I do that. What else do I automate? I'm trying to think. I try to automate as much as possible.
Paying bills.
Oh yeah, well that's a given. Yeah, yes, if I can automate a bill, it is done. Because that's the last thing I need to know. Did I submit that? No. No.
Yeah, it's a decision. That's why I thought about it.
Well, yeah. No, you're right. I definitely. That was the first thing I could do.
Yeah. What else? Let me see.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Automate our posts, so that's not something you got to think about.
Well, yeah, we're still working on that, but yes, I know, but automate. Yes, I automate as many posts as I can. I know. I'm trying to think. Clothes. So I try to work out.
Oh yeah.
A lot, but it doesn't always work out. Y'all keep me in your prayers. So what I do is I just automatically, when I wake up, I already have I have workout clothes. I put them on. So that way it's I know that I have to get that workout in because I'm already dressed for it. Yeah. So whenever I get that window of time, basically the time that, that's what I'm still working on, because I used to do that at the beginning of the day. So I didn't have an excuse, but it's so hot. It's hot at 8 o'clock, even here in it's actually at 7. It's still hot. So I'm working on either doing evening workouts or I'll just do a step class, during the day, as time permits. What else? I think that's it.
I can't think of anything else decision-wise that you would kind of need to automate. Yeah.
No, I think that's it. I know one thing I do is not necessarily automating, but it helps me in my procrastination, and I do this a lot because especially with the summer, when people say, "Oh, we need to meet up for like dinner or coffee or a play date," I try to make that like, okay, let's pull out our calendars now and let's see what works, so that. That's not not a decision I'm procrastinating on.
You good too, because I'd be like, yeah, we need to get up. Just never say when.
Exactly. And then, the summer is gone and you're like, oh, or it's been 3 months and you're like, oh, we never did get together. Yeah. So I try to, if I can make a decision within like the next 15 minutes and it'll take it off my plate, I will do it. Yeah. So that was like, it's not necessarily automating, but it's being, especially if they're the small, like, not stuff I don't have to research, not in like in big decisions. Yes, if I can make it in the next 15 minutes, I'm gonna do it and be done. Okay. And then the last, I think, recommendation I can make is take time outs. Who said that time outs have to be just for kids?
They don't, but you have to. Well, every time you think of a timeout, you always think of you have to go in the corner like you're in trouble.
Oh, okay.
But as an adult, no. I get what you're saying about timeout, but yeah, we need time we could just
take a break.
Yeah.
Just be like, okay, I just need a moment to just do nothing. Yeah. Take it.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's what she did for me yesterday, because it was my holiday off because I didn't get Sunday off, so my holiday was yesterday. Mm-hmm. I was gonna wait. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go work in the office, try to finish up. She was like, today's a holiday. Why don't you just chill? And I'm like, all right.
Yes. I mean, because I knew if he was in the office, then I would need to be in the office. And I was like, I don't want to do that today. No, I don't want to make those decisions today. So, but yeah, just take a break. Don't do anything or do something that is carefree. Like if you need to enjoy some garbage TV, do it. I would recommend that everyone has at least like one show or one podcast, something that is just purely for entertainment, because it's just a break. Yeah. That's true. So if you can't, it's kind of like these timers are like your self-care moments. Mm-hmm. Just take a minute. Doesn't have to be long, or it can be you decide what, I guess, the magnitude of what that timeout needs to be for you, but take it and just don't make any decisions during that time, and then that way you can be refreshed. So like if you are a power napper like I am, if you get 20 minutes and you take a power nap, when you wake up, it's just like you're ready. Like it's like, okay, so what is the next thing? And because you've prioritized, like if you're taking all the big decisions, like made all the important decisions earlier, it's like, okay, so what are the smaller things I can knock off the list?
Yeah, power nap work for you, not for me, but
yes, I am a serious power napper.
Yeah, power nap for me is 2.5 hours. That's power nap for me.
That's sleep.
No, sleep is supposed to be over 7 hours.
No, that is sleep. So, okay. So, anything else you have about decision fatigue?
No, I'm not gonna lie. Learned some stuff today that I know I need to do better on, so I can help you even more, because I don't want you to get to the point where you are just like, forget it, I'm done. Like, I don't want that, so I need to.
What would that look like? Go to the grocery store and come back?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know what? Forget this. I'm out, and just leave. And it was like, what just happened? Like, I need to be more proactive in making sure that, like I said earlier, that anything that requires a decision, I need to make sure I put it in my phone, make sure I put a due date, so I'm actually taking care of whatever it is. Yeah. So I'm taking it off your plate, and at the same time make it so, I'm communicating, okay, yeah, this is taken care of, so you're not thinking like, did he do that? I'm not going to ask him, like kind of you said earlier, it's like, I don't want you to be like, did he finish it? But didn't tell me?
Yeah.
And then you're still thinking about it. It's like, no, I want to get that off your plate and really take care of it, so.
Right, and I also need to stop trying to shoulder everything myself. I need to just, everything doesn't need me to make the decision.
Oh, okay.
So I do need to, share the workload more so, for sure.
And I'll try to do better. I try to do better and not just be asking you, how do what? Asking all these other questions.
I'm just saying, trust, if I've given it to you.
Oh, I know.
I believe in you.
I know.
I believe.
What song is that?
I don't know. I was going to make an original, but then I just said, I'm just
going to. Is that Whitney Hutton? Whitney Houston?
No.
Yeah, that's a song.
That's not what I was going to
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. I was about to make an original, and then I just said no because I realized we were recording.
Oh. Yeah.
So it was like, they don't need to know that about me.
Gotcha.
So if that's all, we want to once again. There we go. Focus in. We just want to thank you guys for watching this week's episode. Please like, subscribe, and share.
Put some stuff in the comments.
Yes. Comment. Yeah. We appreciate all the feedback.
Yeah.
And love.
And I guess we'll see you next week.
Also, you can follow us on.
I forgot.
Also, you can follow us on Instagram at Bside of Marriage, Facebook, The Bside of Marriage.
Yeah.
And you can also, if you're watching this,
that means you can listen.
You can listen to
Spotify, on Apple Music, and if you listen to this, you can watch this on YouTube under the Bside of Marriage podcast.
Yes.
So,
I think that's all.
Yeah, that's all.
All right. Until next week. Peace.
See you later.